Howdy folks, Brother Jim reporting here at End Times Prophecy News. From Gateway Pundit, an update. Lindsey Graham, who has failed to confront or call in a single deep state witness, announces he will give up Senate Judiciary chair in 2020. Well, you know, they've been announcing how there's many Republicans have been leaving office. This is one of those good Republicans that we really want to leave office, don't we? Probably the number one rhino Republican in name only. He's just many people think he's a sodomite. Who knows? I think he's never been married, but he's not married right now. On May 1st, 2019, Lindsey Graham, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, promised investigations on how the Mueller probe started. Senator Graham made the comments during a testimony by U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr in front of the U.S. Senate. Did he come through?
Come to order, and the first order of business is to try to cool the room down, so we'll see if we can do that. But the Attorney General will be testifying here in a bit about the Mueller report. And I want to thank him for coming to the committee and giving us...
Well, we can't listen to 14 minutes of his garbage, but Lindsey Graham did lie. Lindsey Graham is a fraud. Lindsey Graham has scheduled no committee hearings on deep state, FBI, CIA, Spygate, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Mueller, Stefan Halper, George Papadopoulos, Tom Fitton, Sidney Powell, Joe DeGenova, John Brennan, James Comey, Chris Wray. He's not obstruction of justice. It's all in your mind, Jim. Here's a list of the Senate Judiciary Committee hearings since Lindsey Graham made that lie back on May 1st, 2019. You can look at it. None of them have any of these people in them, right? On Monday, Senator Rand Paul joined Tucker Carlson to discuss Lindsey Graham's empty promises and multiple lies to the American public. Lindsey promised to investigate the origins of the Russia hoax, the Ukrainian investigation, and the Roger Stone raid. These were all lies. No, it's just the same old program that the Democrats do. They always promise good things for the public, especially the black people. They've been believing that lie for about 70 years. And Tucker Carlson noted that Lindsey Graham will not call in former Ambassador Kurt Volker to the Judiciary Committee, even though his testimony undermines the current Democratic Party Ukrainian narrative. Tucker Carlson said, now his inaction extends to the Ukraine saga as well. State Department official Kurt Volker has given closed-door testimony that undermines the current impeachment narrative. 2 weeks ago, Graham said that if Democrats didn't release the transcript of Volker's remarks, he would summon Volker before the Senate to testify. We're still waiting for that to happen. Could it be that Attorney General Bill Barr reinstating the death penalty at the federal level in all federal prisons after 16 years, well, almost 16, 15 and then some, of not having it? The law of the land and justice is coming back. Is Lindsey Graham getting a little yeller? Lindsey Graham could destroy the Democrats' entire Ukrainian narrative with one public hearing, but that's not going to happen. On Thursday, Senator Lindsey Graham, who has increasingly come under pressure for doing nothing as the powerful chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, announced that he will be abdicating his chairmanship immediately after the 2020 presidential election. Is this Lindsey saying he will not lift a finger to defend this president or his voters? No, it's Lindsey Graham telling you, I am controlled obstruction of justice. That's the reality, folks. He is controlled obstruction of justice. Is like another wall to stop any justice coming for Republicans. That's right. If you don't believe that, I'm sorry. We're going to continue in Nahum chapter 3 of the day of the Lord when Jesus comes back to punish the whore who rides the beast. In verse 5, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. What woman wears a skirt on her face? A whore. And I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? Art thou better than Populus? No, that was situate among the rivers that had the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. This is very interesting. It's in that United States Patriot song, From Sea to Shining Sea. Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was infinite. Put and Luban were thy helpers. Yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men. Oh, that's in the book of Revelation too. And all her great men were bound in chains. Thou also shalt be drunken. Thou shalt be hid. Oh, in Revelation 17, it says that the nations are drunken with her. Thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first striped figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open into thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. Draw thee waters for the siege, fortify the strongholds, go into clay and tread the mortar, make strong the brick kiln. There shall the fire, the all-consuming fire of God, shall devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the canker worm. Ooh, just like Joel chapter, I think it's 1 and 2. Make thyself many as the cankerworm, make thyself many as the locust. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and flieth away. This is very interesting because in Isaiah 14, Satan says, I want to be, well, I forgot where it is, but there is the same thing in Revelation, that he wants to be like the stars of heaven. Okay? And I believe it matches with Isaiah 14. The cankerworm spoileth and flieth away. The crowned are as the locusts. This is very interesting because in Revelation 19, chapter 9, Revelation chapter 9, he says the locusts have crowns on them, and the captains as the great grasshoppers which camp in the hedges in the cold day. But when the sun ariseth, they flee away, and their place is not known where they are. Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathereth them. There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually? That is the end of the prophet Nahum. Thank you for listening.